Imagine, for just a moment, that you could shrink yourself down, smaller than the head of a pin, smaller than a grain of sand, smaller still until your very body becomes a universe. Suddenly, the familiar landscape of your hand or the curve of your skin transforms into vast mountain ranges, bustling cities, and winding rivers made not of stone or water, but of cells. Each heartbeat becomes a drum echoing through this strange land, and each breath carries currents of oxygen that flow like invisible winds across entire territories. What seems invisible in our everyday life is, in truth, a universe of staggering complexity and beauty hidden within us. When you look into a mirror, you see only the surface, your face, your hair, perhaps the faint outline of veins under the skin. But beneath that surface exists a world more crowded, more dynamic, and more alive than any metropolis we have ever built. Inside your body are trillions of microscopic beings, cells, proteins, bacteria, and molecular machines, all carrying out their work with silent precision. They do not ask for recognition, yet without them, not a single thought, not a single breath, not even a flicker of awareness could exist. They are the hidden universe within you. Think about this: your body contains around 37 trillion cells. Each one is like a self-sustaining city, with its own energy power plants, transport systems, communication networks, and even defense forces. The sheer scale of this is difficult to imagine. If you were to count every cell in your body at the rate of 1 per second, it would take you more than 1,000,000 years to finish. Yet, right now, as you listen, each of those cells is quietly working, repairing, and communicating to keep you alive. Let's zoom in closer, past the surface of your skin, down through the layers of tissue until we reach a single cell. At first, it may look simple, a round bubble suspended in fluid. But step inside, and you would discover something extraordinary. The cell's outer membrane is not just a protective wall. It is alive, constantly sensing, communicating, and making decisions about what can enter or leave. Beyond that barrier lies the cytoplasm, a liquid sea where countless proteins and molecules drift, collide, and react. In the very center rests the nucleus, the grand library of life, where DNA, your genetic instruction manual, is stored with astonishing precision. From this library, messages are constantly copied and sent out, directing the production of proteins, which are the workers of this microscopic city. Proteins themselves are tiny marvels, shaped into complex structures that twist and fold like origami. They act as builders, transporters, and even messengers. Some proteins ferry oxygen through your blood, others break down nutrients from your food, and still others form the scaffolding that gives cells their shape. If you could witness them in action, you would see an endless ballet of movement, with molecules binding and releasing, engines spinning, and pumps working tirelessly, often at speeds and scales that make our most advanced technologies look primitive. But your hidden universe is not made only of your own cells. Inside you lives an entire ecosystem of microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi, that together are known as the microbiome. Though small, they outnumber your human cells and play a critical role in your health. In your gut alone, trillions of bacteria break down food, produce vitamins, and even communicate with your brain through chemical signals. In fact, scientists now know that the balance of your microbiome can influence your mood, your immune system, and even your ability to fight disease. So, in a very real sense, you are not a single being, but rather a community, a superorganism whose survival depends on countless unseen partners. Pause for a moment and imagine this. Right now, as you breathe, tiny mitochondria, the so-called powerhouses of the cell, are producing energy by converting the oxygen you inhale into usable fuel. Each mitochondrion is like a miniature engine, and there are hundreds to thousands of them inside every single cell. Without their constant work, your body would go dark in an instant, like a city losing power during a blackout. Yet they never rest. They spin, pump, and burn with relentless rhythm, providing the energy that allows you to blink, to think, and to listen to these very words. The most fascinating part of this hidden universe is not only its complexity, but also its unity. Every cell, every molecule, every organism is connected in a vast web of cooperation. When one cell senses damage, it sends signals to its neighbors. When bacteria in your gut digest fiber, they release chemicals that travel through your bloodstream to your brain, affecting your thoughts and emotions. When a virus tries to invade, your immune system springs into action with an army of cells that identify, target, and destroy the intruder. And somehow, all of these processes happen in perfect harmony, without you ever needing to think about them. If you were to visualize this hidden world, it would not look static or still. Instead, it would shimmer and pulse with constant activity. Imagine highways of proteins carrying cargo along microscopic tracks, vesicles bursting with neurotransmitters waiting to cross the gap between nerve cells, and DNA strands coiling and uncoiling like spirals of light as they give rise to the molecules of life. It would be like staring into a galaxy, not of stars and planets, but of cells and molecules, each one essential to the grand design of your existence. The next time you feel small in the face of the universe, remember that within you lies a cosmos just as vast and mysterious. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart, every fleeting thought in your mind arises from this hidden world working tirelessly in the background. It is humbling, isn't it, to realize that while you look outward at the stars, an equally awe-inspiring universe resides within you? And yet, this is only the beginning of our journey, because the deeper we go, the stranger, more beautiful, and more mysterious this microscopic universe becomes. What are the hidden messages your cells are sending each other? How do bacteria in your gut talk to your brain? And could exploring this hidden universe one day help us unlock secrets of healing, memory, and even consciousness itself? Stay with me, because as we venture further, you'll discover that your body is not just a collection of parts. It's a living, breathing cosmos, more extraordinary than any science fiction. If you could shrink down to the size of a single cell, your journey would begin in a vast, bustling landscape more alive than any city you've ever seen. Imagine drifting along rivers of plasma inside your bloodstream, each red blood cell gliding past like bright crimson boats, carrying oxygen cargo to every corner of your body. White blood cells patrol like watchful guardians, scanning for invaders, always ready to defend their territory. This is not an empty world. It is a world of endless movement, communication, and purpose. Every heartbeat you feel is a signal that powers this microscopic cosmos into motion. Yet the bloodstream is only the highway. To see the true wonder of this hidden universe, we need to go deeper, down to the level of a single cell. Here, the boundaries blur between science and something that feels almost magical. Each cell is enclosed by a thin, flexible membrane, like a living wall that carefully decides what comes in and what must stay out. Nutrients, oxygen, and messages from neighboring cells slip inside, while waste and signals of distress are sent out. The cell membrane is more than a barrier. It's a thinking gatekeeper, constantly balancing the needs of the tiny world within. Step inside, and suddenly you're standing in the cytoplasm, the watery ocean that fills the cell. Suspended in this liquid are countless organelles, tiny structures with specialized roles, each one working in harmony to keep the cell alive. It feels like entering a miniature factory where every part knows exactly what to do. At the center, towering above everything else, is the nucleus, the command hub, the keeper of the code of life itself. Inside its protective shell lies DNA, a molecular script written in 4 chemical letters. This script holds the instructions for building you, every protein, every enzyme, every trait that makes you who you are. But the nucleus does not act alone. Imagine it sending out orders in the form of RNA, like scribes copying important messages from the master book. These messages travel to the ribosomes, the cell's protein factories. Here, ribosomes read the instructions and begin stitching together proteins, molecule by molecule, like expert artisans crafting tools, structures, and even signals. Without proteins, life would collapse. Your muscles wouldn't move, your brain couldn't think, and your body would fail to repair itself. Close by, the endoplasmic reticulum stretches like a winding maze of tunnels, where proteins are folded, checked, and prepared for their jobs. Some are smoothed into perfect shapes, while others are tagged for shipment. And where do they go? To the Golgi apparatus, an organelle that looks like a stack of pancakes but acts like the post office of the cell. Here, proteins are packaged into tiny vesicles and sent off to wherever they're needed. Some will strengthen cell walls, some will act as chemical messengers, and some will be exported entirely, serving the body far beyond the cell that built them. This microscopic dance is not random. It is rhythm. It is order. It is life unfolding in endless cycles. Yet, for all its precision, the cell is not an island. It listens and responds constantly. Imagine neighboring cells passing chemical signals back and forth like whispers between friends. When a wound occurs, skin cells talk to immune cells, calling for reinforcements. When your muscles contract, nerve cells release a spark of command, and muscle fibers obey. It is communication without sound, cooperation without words, a silent language more ancient than humanity itself. Zoom in further still and you'll encounter the mitochondria, the power plants of the cell. These tiny, bean-shaped organelles are the reason you can breathe, move, and think. They take oxygen and nutrients, breaking them down into energy packets called ATP, little batteries that power every single process of life. Without mitochondria, your cells would go dark, like a city struck by a blackout. And yet, astonishingly, mitochondria have their own DNA, a reminder of their ancient origin as free-living bacteria that joined forces with early cells billions of years ago. This partnership was not just survival, it was the beginning of complex life on Earth. Now, pause for a moment and consider this. All of this, the bloodstream highways, the organelle factories, the invisible conversations, is happening right now inside you. Every blink, every breath, every quiet heartbeat is powered by trillions of these microscopic worlds working together. You don't feel them. You don't see them. Yet, without their tireless labor, you would not exist. And here's the hook that keeps us leaning forward. As fascinating as a single cell is, the true marvel begins when billions of them cooperate to build tissues, organs, and entire systems. From the microscopic to the macroscopic, the universe within you mirrors the complexity of the universe above you. In the next part of our journey, we'll watch how cells unite to form the living architecture of your body, building bridges of bone, rivers of blood, and even the thoughts flickering through your mind. Beneath the surface of your skin lies a bustling realm that, in many ways, resembles a great city. Imagine skyscrapers rising skyward, streets weaving through neighborhoods, and workers tirelessly keeping everything running. Now shrink that image down to the microscopic scale, and you'll find that your cells are the skyscrapers, your tissues the neighborhoods, and your organs the grand districts that make up this city we call you. What's remarkable is not just that these structures exist, but that they are maintained, repaired, and sometimes entirely rebuilt every moment without your conscious involvement. Your body is not a static object. It is a living, evolving landscape, constantly in motion, even when you are at rest. Let's pause here and focus on the builders themselves. Cells are often thought of as passive units, but in reality, they are active architects, engineers, and workers rolled into one. Each cell has a role, whether it's producing energy, transmitting signals, or defending against threats. But more fascinating still is how they collaborate. Like citizens in a vast civilization, they communicate, negotiate, and sometimes even sacrifice themselves for the greater good of the whole organism. It's this silent cooperation, occurring billions of times over, that allows you to wake up every morning, breathe your first breath of the day, and move forward as if it were the simplest thing in the world. But what does this architecture really look like at the microscopic level? Step inside a single cell and you'll find a dynamic construction site. The cytoskeleton, an intricate network of protein filaments, forms the scaffolding that gives the cell its shape. These filaments aren't fixed. They are constantly rearranged, like flexible beams that adapt to whatever the environment demands. Need to move nutrients from one side of the cell to the other? Tiny motor proteins walk along these filaments carrying packages, almost like couriers delivering supplies across the city. Need to divide the cell in two. The scaffolding reorganizes itself into a precise, mechanical structure that pulls everything apart and ensures each daughter cell inherits exactly what it needs. Zoom out just a little and you'll see that no cell works in isolation. Picture your gut, for instance. Millions of epithelial cells line its walls, forming a barrier that allows nutrients in but keeps harmful invaders out. Just behind them, immune cells patrol like sentries guarding the borders of a fortress. They don't just coexist. They talk to each other constantly. Chemical signals ripple through the microscopic crowd, carrying messages like, "all clear," or "danger approaching." It's a communication network so efficient that it rivals the most advanced systems humanity has ever invented, and yet it operates silently inside you every second of your life. Perhaps even more astonishing is the fact that these microscopic architects are not always your own. Living alongside your human cells are trillions of microbes, bacteria, fungi, and viruses that form what we call the microbiome. For years, scientists thought of them as freeloaders or even threats. But now we know they are partners in construction, essential members of your inner ecosystem. The bacteria in your gut, for example, help break down food into usable nutrients, train your immune system to recognize friend from foe, and even produce molecules that influence your mood and brain function. Without them, your city of cells would struggle to function properly. Let's step back for a moment and reflect. Isn't it astonishing to realize that you are not a single being, but rather a vast community? A superorganism in which human cells and microbial companions live side by side, shaping each other's destinies. It's humbling to think that every decision you make, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, ripples down to affect not only your own cells, but also the countless microbial citizens who share your body. Together, they are the hidden architects of your health, your energy, and even your thoughts. Now, imagine this city at work in real time. You take a deep breath. Oxygen rushes into your lungs, slipping across delicate membranes into your bloodstream. Red blood cells, perfectly shaped like little discs, scoop up the oxygen and carry it down vast highways of vessels, delivering it to the farthest reaches of your body. There, in the bustling neighborhoods of your tissues, mitochondria seize the oxygen and begin burning fuel to release energy. And just like that, without a single conscious command from you, billions of tiny power plants have fired up, ensuring that every cell in your body has the energy it needs to continue its work. This is the hidden universe within you, an endlessly intricate system where order emerges from chaos, where life persists against odds, and where microscopic architects ensure that the city of you never sleeps. And yet, what's even more mysterious is how these countless parts manage to work together so harmoniously. What invisible laws govern their cooperation? What forces keep the balance from tipping into disorder? The deeper we look, the more the universe within begins to resemble the universe beyond, full of hidden patterns, elegant rules, and mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And this is where the story leads us next, into the invisible language of cells, the secret codes that allow billions of independent entities to move as one, creating not just life, but a living symphony. Imagine for a moment that your body is not just a single being but an entire city in constant motion. Every street is lined with structures, every pathway alive with bustling travelers, and at the edges of this microscopic metropolis, sentinels stand guard. These sentinels are the soldiers of your immune system, cells that are trained, vigilant, and always on alert. Without you ever realizing it, they patrol, investigate, and neutralize potential threats. The immune system, in many ways, is the most remarkable expression of biological teamwork. White blood cells, or leukocytes, are not a single type of defender but a diverse army, each division with a specific role. Some are scouts, roaming through the bloodstream to detect invaders. Others are assassins, specialized in targeting and eliminating infected cells. Then there are the strategists, the memory cells that recall every microbe you've ever encountered, ensuring that if the same enemy dares to return, the body is ready with lightning speed. What's fascinating is that these cells don't act randomly. They communicate constantly, using chemical signals that act like microscopic text messages. Cytokines and chemokines, these tiny molecular messengers, are released into the bloodstream, summoning reinforcements to areas where they're needed most. Imagine a neighborhood watch alerting the entire city that a suspicious figure has appeared, and instantly, backup arrives. That's what happens inside your body thousands of times each day. Take macrophages, for example. Their name literally means big eaters. When they encounter a bacterium or a virus, they engulf it whole, breaking it down and presenting fragments of the invader to other immune cells. It's almost as if they're saying, "Look at this. This is what we're up against. Be ready." These fragments are displayed like wanted posters, ensuring that other defenders know exactly what to target. Then come the natural killer cells, a name that may sound harsh but is perfectly fitting. These microscopic warriors specialize in identifying cells that have been compromised, perhaps by a viral infection or even by turning cancerous. They don't hesitate. They destroy those cells quickly, preventing damage from spreading. Their efficiency is chilling, but it is also what keeps us alive. And yet, the immune system is not just about brute force. It's about memory. Once an infection has been fought off, certain cells remain behind, forever remembering the specific features of that invader. This memory is what allows vaccines to work, training the immune system to recognize a threat without needing to endure the full illness. It also explains why many childhood illnesses are rarely experienced twice. Your body never forgets. But this microscopic defense force is not invincible. Sometimes it makes mistakes. In autoimmune diseases, the immune system becomes confused, mistaking the body's own cells as enemies. This tragic error leads to conditions like lupus or multiple sclerosis, where the defenders of life become its attackers. On the other hand, when the immune system is too weak or suppressed, infections seize the opportunity to spread unchecked, reminding us just how fragile this balance is. And then there are the viruses themselves, masters of deception in the microscopic world. Many viruses have evolved ways to disguise themselves, hiding from immune detection or even hijacking the body's own defenses to aid their spread. The flu virus, for instance, mutates rapidly, changing its outer structure just enough to evade recognition from memory cells. It's like a criminal constantly changing disguises, always staying one step ahead of the law. What's astonishing is how this entire battle unfolds in silence. There are no alarms that you can hear, no visible evidence of the microscopic wars being waged beneath your skin. A cut on your finger, a sore throat, or a mild fever is often just the visible surface of an immense, unseen conflict. While you rest, your defenders fight tirelessly, ensuring that you can wake the next morning with little memory of the microscopic dangers you faced. And if we zoom out just slightly, we see that the immune system is not working alone. It is deeply connected to other microscopic communities within you, especially the gut microbiome. Scientists now know that the trillions of bacteria in your intestines don't just help with digestion. They actively train and guide your immune system. Without them, your defenses would be less coordinated, less effective. This relationship is so intimate that some scientists now call the microbiome an extension of the immune system itself. This microscopic symphony of defenders, communicators, and memory keepers paints a profound picture. Your body is not just a collection of tissues, but an ecosystem that remembers, adapts, and protects. Every breath you take, every moment you live, is made possible because these silent guardians work tirelessly on your behalf. And as we reflect on this invisible battle, another question emerges. Beyond the defenders and the microbes, what about the builders? Who are the microscopic architects constantly repairing, regenerating, and reshaping your body? To uncover that, we need to journey deeper into the world of stem cells, the body's original blueprint, waiting quietly until called upon to rebuild what time or injury has taken away. The deeper we travel into this hidden world, the clearer it becomes that your body is not a single solitary machine. It is a living ecosystem. Each breath you take feeds not only your lungs but countless microscopic residents. Each heartbeat ripples through a community of cells working tirelessly to keep you alive. And every choice you make, from the food you eat to the rest you allow yourself, subtly guides this entire symphony of life within you. It's humbling, isn't it? To realize that while you go about your day, studying, working, or simply dreaming, an invisible world is buzzing inside, orchestrating a story of survival, cooperation, and balance. This microscopic universe also reminds us of something profound. Life is fragile, but it is also deeply resilient. The very cells that once emerged billions of years ago from simple beginnings have adapted, multiplied, and evolved into you, the being who now reflects on them with curiosity. It's as though every cell carries not only the memory of life's origin, but also a quiet determination to keep moving forward. When you pause and listen to that idea, you might even feel a spark of wonder at the fact that you are both the observer and the observed. You are the storyteller of the very universe that composes you. And here's a thought to carry with you tonight. Just as galaxies are bound together by gravity, your inner universe is bound together by communication. Every signal exchanged between cells, every electrical pulse, every chemical messenger. It all mirrors the cosmic dance above us. The micro reflects the macro. To look within is, in many ways, to glimpse the same patterns that govern stars, planets, and galaxies. You are not separate from the universe. You are one of its most intricate expressions. As you drift into that idea, imagine this. Right now, while you sit in stillness, your immune cells patrol like silent guardians, your neurons fire like distant stars flickering in the night, and your gut microbes quietly digest and transform the food that will fuel tomorrow's dreams. This is happening in every moment, with or without your awareness. The invisible is always alive, always moving, always creating the conditions for your conscious experience. Doesn't it feel astonishing to realize how much is happening inside you, even when all seems quiet? And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of this hidden universe within you, that life's beauty does not always reveal itself in grand, visible displays. Sometimes the greatest wonders are the ones unseen, the ones that whisper beneath the surface, sustaining you without asking for recognition. To know this is to carry a kind of gratitude, an appreciation that lingers not only in your thoughts but also in your way of living. If this journey through your microscopic world has left you with even a flicker of awe, I'd invite you to stay with us for more. Here on the Sleepy Minds, we explore the mysteries of life, the universe, and everything in between, always with calm curiosity, always with wonder. If you found comfort or fascination in tonight's exploration, consider subscribing so you can return to this quiet space whenever you need it. And if you'd like to help more curious minds discover these hidden worlds, a like or a gentle share would mean more than you know. For now, close your eyes and remember, you are a universe within a universe. A vast, invisible cosmos is unfolding inside you, keeping you alive, connecting you to every living thing that has ever existed. Breathe softly, rest easily, and carry with you the quiet truth that you are both the mystery and the miracle. Good night from the Sleepy Minds.